Little update this evening. I thought I'd do a 1 month update on these boots from Urban Shepherd. These are the Backroad. I've been wearing them for a month, as I say, and I thought it was about time just to share some thoughts on sizing, share my break-in experience, and a little bit more detail on the boots, how they're put together, and in particular the sole. So the big focus of this review is going to be about the sole, actually. That's a real standout feature for these boots. But to start off with, in terms of sizing, if you watched my earlier reviews of the country boot from Urban Shepherd, this I went true to size. Urban Shepherd boots do run a little small, so whilst this kind of worked, it's got a nice boxy toe, it did just about work out true to size, but there wasn't much space for a thicker pair of socks. So for the Backroads, I went up a full size. Urban Shepherd don't do half sizes, so it had to be a full size up. And that was great. I mean, it was a much better fit. I could wear thicker socks. There wasn't any pinching on the toes at all, so breaking was very easy, and we'll get onto that in a second. And yeah, so sizing up is the thing to do, in my opinion. Your mileage might vary, but I think a few people have found that the Urban Shepherd lasts aren't quite as generous as some you might have experienced in the past. It is a bit of a shame that they don't do half sizes, because I think really what I found here was they run half a size small. So going up a full size, they are generous. I would have liked to have gone up a half size, but yeah, sizing up is definitely something to think about. Breaking in, as I say, there's already plenty of room around the toes. It's a very simple construction, so one piece leather toe there, no toe caps like we saw on the country boots, no stitching like you'd find on a mock toe, so that the break-in was really easy. In fact, I wouldn't have said I had a break-in period. Pretty much from the get-go, I could wear these for long periods of time. Initially I wore them around the house for days as I was working from home. But after that, long walks, no pinching, no rubs, very easy. Part of that's down to the nice supple sole, really nice and flexible. This is a recycled tyre. It's the material the sole is made out of, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But yeah, the sole is really nice and flexible, nothing much to break in, and the toe box. There is a bellows tongue, but that was pretty soft, so it allowed you to cinch it back so you didn't get any slop at the back, no heel rubs there. Yeah, just really easy break-in. So I think what we'll do is we'll come in and take some close-ups of these boots, show you how they're put together, and we'll talk a little about this sole. Coming in to look at the boots in a little bit more detail. We'll get onto the soles last of all, because that's a point of particular interest. The uppers have got this nice split grain leather, really nice, sort of waxy. I think it's waxed several times before it leaves the factory, and then once the boots are built, it's waxed once again. So really nice, fairly supple, almost a rough out looking leather because the grain's been split. 270 degree welt, so from the heel round to the other side you've got this nice stitched welt. On the heel you have I guess it's a stitch down construction, is it, around there? But the welt disappears, so you get that nicer lower profile finish. You can see the nice shine of the burnished heel stack there. All the Urban Shepherd boots, I've commented that the burnishing, the way they finish off the construction of the sole is really nice burnishing. Good quality stitching, so triple stitched up there. Looking at that, I don't think they've got a Puritan machine. I think that's put in by hand, because there's a slight variation on the distance between the stitches, which is really quite something if it's being done by hand, so that's really good. Little rivet there to hold it all together, or reinforce it rather. Double stitch at the heel cap, and on the inside, I won't go in for a close-up this time, but there's a nice suede heel cap, which I think is really nice. These aren't lined, but they do have that suede heel cap, and that just keeps your foot bedded in there quite nicely. Little single density foam insole with a little leather cap on that. Moving on to the sole, that's really the standout feature for this boot in my opinion. As I said, something I really would like to see a bit more of in other boot productions. So this is simply described as recycled tyres on the web page. Now I had to contact Tiago, who is one of the family members behind Urban Shepherd, and ask him exactly what this sole was. It was really nice, very sort of bouncy, soft, but hard wearing at the same time. So the story behind this sole is it's another Portuguese family business, which I like, 3 generations, and they basically collect used tyres from car yards around the whole of the country and recycle them. So it might be an aeroplane tyre, it might be a truck tyre, tractor or car, and what they'll do is they'll clean them, split them, and it's the inside surface that they use. So they clearly sort of strip it down, sort of flatten it out somehow, and then they just put this new groove cut into it, and that's it. It's not milled down into pellets and processed back into something else. It's just a simple sort of clean and cut, and then onto the shoes it goes. So I really like that. I think that's pretty sustainable. I think that's environmentally friendly, which is a big tick in the box. I think something which we need to consider a bit more these days. And most of all, it is comfortable and it's hard wearing. So if you watch my videos, you'll know that when I do a month review, or any of my reviews, I try and put as many miles into the boots as I reasonably can. And on Vibram soles, you'll see quite notable flattening. You can see that I'm not sure if you can, but you can see that the profile sort of flattened off where you get the maximum wear on the front here. You can see that the heels maybe started to wear off slightly on the side there. And that's a really good quality Vibram sole, but that's sort of wear that I'd expect after a month. But on these, there's really very, very little visual shallowing of those grooves. The stitch on the sides has been protected because it's got a quite nice little bow on it. And on the heel, hard for you to pick up, but there's really no huge discernible rub off on one side because I overpronate. So yeah, it's really, really quite hard wearing despite it being soft, and it is quite bouncy. It's got a couple of extra layers of rubber building up on the sole there. I just think it's a fantastic sole construction, and something which we probably would like to see a bit more in boots. The only downside that I can come up with is that because it is quite soft, it's wear resistant, but it does allow a few little stones to get embedded. There you go, a little stone embedded in the heel there, and that might be a slight irritation if you're walking around a house and you've got wooden floors or something like that, but I think most of us leave our boots at the doorstep. But yeah, great sole. It makes me think, and I think I talked about this in the first review, makes me think of my Adidas Ultra Boosts. In fact, these ones down here, pretty tired and old, but that's a Continental rubber sole, and that's probably done 500, 750 miles on it. I've had them for a couple of years, I run regularly, and it's only just worn through there. Very, very slim profile on the soles in the first place, but Continental sort of tyre technology. I think we want to see a bit more of that in our boots. Red Wings, the soles just don't last. Wonderful boots, but the soles don't last. And this, I think, is offering something a bit different. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of the video. As I say, really, really happy with these. Thank you very much, Urban Shepherd, for supplying these, because these were gifted to me. This is an honest review, though. And I really do stand by what I've said about the sole. I do think it's a really great material, and something which we should look at more for boots. That sustainable, hard-wearing sole. There's very little not to like there. So really good. Very, very pleased with these. If I haven't mentioned it earlier on, I don't think I have. These are the cheapest model that Urban Shepherd offer, and because of that sole, I do think it's probably the boot that I'd recommend. I think it's just really interesting, something unique, These come in at €145, which, you know, when you compare it to the obvious competition, you know, the Beckman style Red Wings are twice the price, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I do think they're a really good value boot. European, handcrafted, family business. Yeah, a lot going for it. So if you've had these, let me know what you think. Did you find the soles as hard wearing as I have? What do you think about the leather? It is quite unique. It's that split leather. You know, let me know what you think. Let me know how you've cared for them, because I haven't actually had to put any treatment on these yet. But tell me what you're doing, what you're using. If you haven't seen my channel before, please check it out. Of course, I'd love it if you subscribed. Lots of boot videos, bit of denim, sort of Japanese brands, good quality denim, everyday carry, fountain pens, pen knives, that sort of stuff. Do check it out. We might share some other common interests. Of course, if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, tell me why in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you for the next video. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.